About what it was like to try to make your checkbook balance at the end of the month and yet try to make life better for everybody. And to me, that's what unions have always stood up for. And that's why I'm proud to have been a union member in my time in the state government, and proud to have always been very supportive of union issues. And I guess the focus that I'd like to just hit upon before I head the mic down the line here is how, as Democrats, and I'm speaking as a Democrat now. I don't know what your party is. I think there's a lot of union members who might happen to be Republican. But I'm going to speak with my experience in state government as a Democrat, and very unapologetic about being a Democrat, because quite frankly, I'm tired of Democrats winning and being apologetic. We won. We won. And we worked awful hard to win. We worked awful hard together to win. The checks that were written out by you for a lot of the candidates who won in the last election and in elections before collectively made the difference. Never, ever apologize for winning. And always understand the motivation of those individuals who didn't want you to win and yet now want to write the rules on what you can do after you won. Don't forget that. That's really important. Last legislative session, because of many of the people in this room, Fargo sent a whole bunch of new Democratic state senators down to Bismarck. We then were only 3 votes shy of a majority, with a whole bunch of other Republican members of the state Senate awful nervous about whether they'd be the next one booted out. Thank you, George W. Bush, because he helped a lot towards that. But those state senators that were already kind of leaning our way saw what happened in that election, and because of the efforts of this room and others, we won a lot of things in the North Dakota State Senate last time. And that's carrying over this time. If you look at what's happening in the North Dakota House, politically, they could care less what voters say. They think that they can just rewrite whatever measure was in front of them. Give big corporate income tax breaks. Exxon. Well, I mean, these people can have all the corporate income tax breaks they want, take that money out of state, charge you $4 a gallon for gas, and just laugh. And yet the Republican majority in the North Dakota House is pushing that. Thank God for the North Dakota Senate for holding it in check. And thank God for those Democrats that are in that room talking to the handful of Republicans saying, you don't want to go home to your district supporting this. So I guess my point is, we won. And don't be apologetic for winning. Hold the people that you helped get elected accountable for that. You get windows of opportunity to where you can do something. This is really one of them. I think President Obama gets that. I think that President Obama gets the fact that he only has so much time that he can push through a good Democratic agenda and make things change from what we had been under for 6 to 8 years. And what it's going to take is, it's going to take people at the congressional level to have the courage to do that. They're certainly in place. They are certainly in place. And so you need to go back to them and remind them who put them in their seats. And the very people that are against the Free Choice Act, ask this: are those people who are against the Free Choice Act going to be there 2 years, 4 years from now, working to re-elect the very people that are waffling and wishing and washing? They're not going to be. They're not going to be. This is the foundation. This is the base. When people who are not active in unions try to tell you what you can do in your union, just throw up a big red flag and say, you don't need to be here telling us what to do. And that, to me, is what the Employer Free Choice Act is all about. Union members have a good understanding of what those union members want to do, and let them decide on their own. Okay? Let them work together on it. I just, for the life of me, cannot get over how so often when we win, our first instinct, our first natural instinct, because we're collectively, we work to bring people together. It can't always be that way. We as Democrats need to leather up a little bit, look at somebody and say, you know what, I hear your side of it, but it's going to be a tough day for you. Really. You need to have the guts to use the power you have families and working children. Here's the thing. You look at what's happened in our society. You look at the state of working men and women, and look at where they are under the past 8 years of Republican control. Ask yourself where they are. They're in credit card debt. They're in mortgage trouble. They're sitting here now wondering for a job. Elections matter. They matter incredibly. And so if you're not going to use those elections when you win, then you deserve the fate you get. And I'm not talking about you, because I know what the people in this room support. I'm talking about the individuals who are going to come to you. And they're going to say, you're my base. I need your support. Well, now's the time to take it out for a walk. Now's the time to take it out for a walk and say, you know, I support you. You're on my team, but I need you. I need you today. And to me, that's what we need to do. We need to make sure that we remind those individuals who are in these voting positions that the reason they're there is because of us. And that if they want our continued support, they need to be there. They need to be there for us. I struggle with that on the legislative side as a talk show host. I'm not always so nice to members of my own party when I think that they're voting wrong. This isn't about, boy, you have a D behind your name, so I will just blindly say that's okay. No. That's not how this works. We're going to have a good debate on what that policy is going to be. We're going to stick up for working men and women, and we're going to go forward. We're not going to sit there and say, gee, we're just so thankful that you won the election. It's no good to win the election if you don't do something with it. That doesn't mean we don't give them our support and we don't back them. When you see somebody writing a letter to the editor, bashing them, it's your job to write back. There's some excellent writers in the room. I always enjoy it when those letters hit the paper. But understand this, the more the merrier. Everybody can put pen to paper. Send those letters in. Call into your talk show hosts. Back them up when they're backing you up. Call in. You hear us getting bashed time and time again? Call in. Back us up. Pretty soon it's a groundswell. Pretty soon people start hearing it and saying, you know what, I don't want to mess with them. They bite back. And I mean it. Now's the time to bite back. Let's win this thing.